Hey everyone, welcome back to another lesson. This one is so important and there's so much I want to get to. I'm jumping right in, but of course, if you enjoy it, let me know by pressing that like button and leave comments. I always read your comments and I try to respond to everybody. So let me know what you think. But we're jumping right in. So what is pocket? That is the big question. That's exactly what we're going to be dealing with. And I'm going to show you exactly how you can develop a killer jazz pocket. So if you're ready, let's go. All right, so what exactly is pocket? That is the question. And I've actually thought a lot about this over the years and come up with kind of a definition. First of all, I want to say, make sure you understand that everyone's definition is going to be different, right? So if there are 20 musicians, 20 drummers, and you ask them what pocket is, they're all going to say something different. And I'm going to share with you what I think pocket is. And what I like about my definition, if I may say so, is that it'll make you kind of think. It has kind of more intangible concepts that are not necessarily concrete, which often you get when you ask what is pocket. But then I'll give you also a portion of the definition that is more concrete and understandable in music terms. So I'm going to read the definition to you. Okay, here we go. Pocket. Yes, this is my iPad. It's beautiful, right? Yeah, hey, okay, whatever. Pocket. The aspect of groove that brings everyone together from its consistent reoccurrence within the groove, creating a euphoric sensation irresistible to the body. And often pocket occurs on beats 2 and 4 or on beat 3 in music that is in 4/4, but it can also occur in other time signatures, okay? So that is my definition. Again, if you ask 20 different people, they're going to give you 20 different answers. But I'm going to kind of talk about pocket. We'll talk about it in a broad sense, and then we'll bring it back to more of a jazz sense. So what I want to do now is give you kind of different iterations of pocket, and then we're gonna talk about it. And I'm going to use my trusty play along, bass play along, that you can of course purchase and check out. I use it all the time. I practice with it. You should definitely check it out if you haven't already. So I'm going to play different types of pocket against this walking bass line, right? And then we'll discuss in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, it's a different tempo now. Get the tempo. So now I'm gonna give you one more interesting pocket. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. You weren't expecting that, right?
All right, so that was, I wanted to show you different iterations of pocket in different styles. Even though it was against a walking bass line, you typically would only hear a certain type of pocket against a walking bass line. But as you could hear, you can really apply pocket in different ways. As long as you're in the same time, you can put it in different places, right? I want to also say I've put 4 links down below in the description for you to check out different drummers talking about Pocket. Pocket Queen, there's a link to Pocket Queen talking about it. Pocket Queen, hint, hint, hint. If you haven't checked her out, definitely check her out. Check out what she says about Pocket. Check out what Dennis Chambers says about Pocket and how he had to think about Pocket playing with Parliament Funkadelics. There's also a video of Josh Crawford, right, and Rob Beatdown Brown. So they all talk about Pocket in different ways. But I want to just give that to you so that you get different perspectives. Now, Pocket is, the communal aspect is so important, right? Think about it. We go to a concert, right? You're at a club and everyone starts clapping or snapping their fingers. Where are they clapping or snapping their fingers, right? If it's 4/4, they're going to be doing that on beats 2 and 4 or on beat 3. And it's the point in the music, it's the point in the time, in the groove, that everyone comes together. So you hear boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, right? And you could hear this, right? This is really typical in a black church. That's how I grew up, you know, at different temples, right? And you get the tambourines going, you get the choir going, and there you go. That's that feeling, that euphoric sensation that the body is kind of, it responds to without even trying. So that's a very important thing. And as such, it behooves you to play the Pocket with authority and with passion and with conviction. Okay? So we're going to go from, you know, often when we talk about Pocket, we're talking about, right? We're talking about funk, or we're talking about right? Some iteration of a backbeat, okay? Which is absolutely Pocket. But when we talk about it with jazz, it's a lot more ambiguous. Where's the Pocket? Well, it's the same thing. It's just a little more nuanced and subtle, right? And integrated and kind of camouflaged in the groove. So let's take it from, so we're going to go from the mother of all drum set grooves is second line, New Orleans grooves. I have a video on that. You should definitely check that out. So the Pocket is in the hi-hats. Okay. Now, so now you hear the 2 and 4. Right? And if we add feel with that, right? Right? Some kind of form of that. If we slow it down, okay. And you can change the feel if you want. Just to show you how it's related to that New Orleans feel. But as it relates to jazz, let's go back to the original tempo. Right? So now, instead of playing the 2 and 4 on the snare drum, now you got this, and you're going to add the feel. Right? The triplet. Right? That triplet is the same triplet that you can hear, right? Or the eighth note, the swung or ragged, right? You listen to ragtime piano playing, and it's the same kind of eighth note. It's swung based on the triplet. That's why I'm saying the triplet. And it's not straight, and it's not truly a triplet. somewhere in between. Right? And that's where we get that triplet eighth note kind of ragged feeling. So now you hear the pocket now? It's on 2 and 4. And if we really want to put a little more emphasis on it, does that sound familiar? Hello, swing era of the 1930s. Hello. Hello, Papa Joe Jones. Hello, Sam Woodyard. Ah, if you don't know who that is, look him up. Right? So, what I'm trying to show you is different iterations of the pocket as it relates to jazz. And in this case, I'm really playing 2 and 4 very strong in the left hand. Now, if we move from here, you can really hear the pocket, right? Okay, now let's take the right hand and move it to the ride tempo. 3, 4, 1. And of course, jazz is a 4/4 moving or 4/4 flow music. So now we're in 4/4. Dang, 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 dang. But there's that pocket. Right? Now, of course, we don't always play that, right? That's something that Sam Woodyard would play and many swing drummers would play. But we have that built into kind of the natural approach to playing time in jazz, which is in the hi-hat. So, but it's not to be played lightly in the left foot because it's already quiet. The hi-hats are quiet. So play with authority. You hear any of the great master drummers, and you can really feel that 2 and 4, right? And even if they're not playing it, you can feel it. And I'll get to that in a second. So we'll take this away after. We'll play this, and then we'll take it away. Now we're going to take it away. We'll try to keep that feeling in our hi-hat. Right? You hear it? There's another thing that I want you to do. There's another thing I want you to do is even if you don't have, if you're not playing 2 and 4 in the right hand or in the left hand in the hi-hat, you can not audibly, but visually accent 2 and 4. I don't want you to do this because then we lose the forward momentum of the time in jazz, right? But if you visually lift your stick a little higher, there's going to be a natural kind of slight accent on 2 and 4, which will highlight and create a sense of pocket. Hello, pocket. In the ride cymbal. We're creating a pocket in the ride cymbal beat. So you hear there's a difference between that and this, which a lot of drummers mistakenly do, trying to create pocket and emphasize 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. But they forget about 1 and 3. That's definitely not what you want to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. See how I'm not leaving 1 and 3 out, but I'm putting a little extra point on 2 and 4. Okay, so that's kind of creating a built-in pocket in the ride cymbal. So now you combine it all, and in fact, let's do it with the bass line, the walking bass line. Again, these walking bass lines, these play-alongs are available. If you haven't checked them out, definitely do so. So this is a different tempo. Let's see if we can get it. 1, 2. I'll play the pocket in different ways in a jazz context, okay? So we'll start with playing time on the hi-hats. Okay, a little faster. Here we go. Again, no matter what the iteration, we want that 2 and 4 to be strong. Okay? You hear it? Now I'm just playing the side of the hi-hat stand. Now let's do the Joe Jones. Right. Hey. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're gonna go to the ride cymbal at the top of the next chorus. 1, 2, Now I want you to play the left hand really strong. Really strong. And then when we take it away at the next chorus, try to get that same feeling in the hi-hat. I'm playing on my toes. Woo! Now we're swinging. That's that pocket. Right? So you could hear how, even though we played it in different ways, that pocket always remained strong. And in this case, in this style, in jazz, it's on 2 and 4. That's where we're snapping, right? And if you always are aware of that, then your groove, your pocket is going to be strong regardless of the tempo, okay? So it's imperative that you just kind of get used to doing that and practice playing pocket in different ways, not just in the jazz setting. Practice funk and make sure you're aware, okay, where's my pocket? Okay, am I playing the pocket really strong? Am I playing it on the back side? Am I playing up on the front side? That's something Dennis Chambers talks about. But regardless, you got to play with conviction and authority. Otherwise, it's not going to be felt. And yeah, the groove's not going to be as strong. Okay? So let me know if this was helpful. Again, this is a hard topic to talk about because everyone has a different idea of what pocket is. But this is kind of how I think of it, and it's helped me tremendously to think of pocket like this, because no matter what the style, I try to just ask myself, okay, what's the pocket of this groove? Okay, there it is. So whatever I do, I have to make sure that I am playing the pocket nice and strong there, whether it's in my left foot or my left hand or whatever I'm doing. Sometimes you can even reverse and put the pocket in the bass drum, but that's a whole nother lesson. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and I will see you on the next one. You know what to do, right? Practice hard, but practice smart. Take care. Bye-bye.